Oh baby, Ford has gone and done it. Yesterday, Sunday, the 17th, they unveiled a brand spanking new vehicle. And that's right, this is an all-electric SUV, baby. And as a result, stock was completely flat. We'll see how things go here Tuesday when this will be released. I don't know necessarily. Naturally, there hasn't been that much of a reaction. Initially, there certainly was. The stock was back up over $9 at one point, $9.07, and then it just kind of fell down as the market opened, and then pretty well stayed stagnant throughout the day. Just a little timeline of this. So, Ford will start taking down reservations. This is on the 14th of November. Start taking down reservations for the Mustang Mach-E on November 17th, that being a Sunday. The all-electric SUV will be inspired by the look of the iconic Mustang model. New Mustang Mach-E will be introduced to the company at an event November 19th in Los Angeles, just ahead of the LA Auto Show. Ford plans to introduce more than a dozen all-electric models by 2020. One thing to note, obviously, when they mention a dozen, or more than a dozen for that matter, obviously if we're thinking electric vehicles, we got to mention Tesla. You can't just avoid mentioning Tesla because it's pretty important. So obviously this electric SUV is going to be competing with the Tesla Model Y, and we'll take a look at that and how they compare a little bit later. But again, this is what I've been talking about with Tesla stock, and this matter is once other competitors get into the game, you don't know necessarily how things are going to go. I mean, the stock's so highly valued. Once other competitors get into the game, we don't know who's going to be, the winner in the end. Tesla's got a head start, but everyone might be able to catch up. You never really know. So obviously, here's this lovely guy. So Credit Suisse thinks Tesla is about to face a key competitive test when the electric Mach-E is introduced on Sunday. First major milestone in Ford's emphasis in electrification, and more importantly, marks an increased effort by the legacy U.S. automakers to be relevant in electrification. Writer, analyst, Dan Levy. That's right, Dan Levy. I don't like you because you're an analyst and you're pretty wrong about things. Just expects to do the stats here. So, outperform rating on Ford. That's right. Ford is finally getting some interest over some of these analysts. But, they also current price target of 200 on Tesla, which is just shot over around 330. So, again, analysts, they're never right about anything, but I do think Tesla is certainly extremely overvalued. I can agree with you on that. So here's some details. Starting price, which is excluding tax incentives of up to $7,500, and this is mostly in California. They're offering this major tax break if you purchase an all-electric vehicle. Because, it's California, why not? Will range from $43,850 for the base version to $60,500 for the GT. Top performance models will achieve 0 to 60 in the mid 30-second range, estimated 450 horsepower and 612 pounds per foot of torque. In line with Ford, Mustang, Shelby, GT, and the Tesla Model Y. Okay, pretty similar, especially achieve a range between 210 miles and at least 300 miles. And maybe produced in China, though it all depends on how the trade war plays out. Again, they might move production elsewhere, Mexico, wherever they need to do it. Unveiled Saturday night, Mach-E will relaunch Ford's EV efforts as part of an $11 billion plan to develop 40 all-electric and hybrid models by 2020. So, obviously, they're entering a lot into the market, and one thing you should note is, quantity is not necessarily equivalent to quality. It all depends, because Tesla's got a few, select few models that you can choose from, and they're performing well. They're not necessarily flooding the market with just a bunch of different options. Let's take a look at this thing, and I have to say, error code. That's what I have to say. Um, let's go ahead reload this page. Take a look at this beauty of a car, and that's right, it is a beauty. So here's the 2021 Mustang Mach E. Take a look at this guy. 300-mile range, mid 3 second, 0 to 60. Estimated range, 47 miles in 10 minutes. That's right. Look at this thing. Just look at the vehicle. And one thing to note, obviously, you see internally, you get this big old interface. It's kind of just where vehicles are going to now. We're gonna have giant interfaces on our dashboards. That's just how it is. So you can do pretty well anything you need to do there. Obviously, you see your normal Stang, and this time you get your Mustang SUV. I mean, that, to me, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. That's a pretty looking car. I like it. And here's a pretty cool looking thing going on here. So we're gonna let this load in the meantime. We'll just take a look from this angle again while we take a look. But you can see here, I mean, that's a beautiful, I like that blue too, personally. It's a pretty exciting thing. But here's a little 3D model that they have up. So this is just overall pretty darn cool. So we can look from every angle, why not, at this little model here. You're going to be charging up here in the driver's front here. That's where you're going to be putting your charging port. Just look at this thing. I don't know about you. Man, something about it. I'm not necessarily a huge SUV guy, but something just about the fact that it's not overly bulky. It really looks cool to me. I'm a huge fan of the front too. I really do like the front. I like that Mustang style that it's got going on, and this top here isn't absurd, and I love this sunroof. I really do. I love all of the windows and the visibility in this vehicle. I just like it. Obviously, you sacrifice a little bit of trunk space, I would say, with this SUV, because that's not that bulky back of the vehicle. But again, you can lower seats. It'll fit up to 7 people. It's just an interesting vehicle to me. And obviously, let's go ahead and reserve now. I'll click on it. I'm just kidding. I'm not reserving it now. Seamlessly connected tech. You get your big old interface here. Your sliders. Everything you need here. Everything you need from it. 100% SUV. 100% soul stirring. You got that right. All available electric all-wheel drive delivers exceptional handling capability. All-wheel drive on this baby. And obviously, you can tell from here, there's quite a lot of space going on here just inside the vehicle. And that's right, get this one. Front trunk. Trunk in the front like the stuffed Dumbo. That's Post Malone, maybe he said that one. I don't remember if that's the exact lyric, but he didn't say stuff, in case you're curious. So 4.8 cubic feet. That's like a nice size of a decent chest freezer, in my opinion. So that's a pretty good amount of space. Honestly, that's not a bad little trunk space. It's a little weird having it in the front, but obviously you don't have that engine to deal with because it's an electric vehicle, baby. That's interesting. So you have that extra space, and you don't necessarily have to worry about that trunk space in the back. You could use that for whatever, just passengers. And this front here you can use for your groceries or whatever it might be. It just seems weird putting your stuff in your front. I like it though. Something about it's just cool for me. And here's your choose your model, your first edition. That's right. And obviously qualifies for the $7,500 credit because of course it does. The first edition here offers an estimated miles of 270 in terms of range, mid 5 seconds, 0 to 60, all-wheel drive. Naturally, they're all all-wheel drive. We have the Select Edition, which is 230-mile range. This is just their base model. It comes in all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive if you prefer. The Premium, 300 miles of range, mid 5 seconds, and all-wheel or rear-wheel. You get the California Route 1, which, you know what, it's more focused on the longevity, I would say, necessarily. 300-mile range, not a very fast car. Rear wheel drive, really struggling that. And of course, the G freaking T, the performance one, baby. $60,500, 235 mile range, mid 3 second, in terms of their 0 to 60. So, and this is an all-wheel drive vehicle. So, definitely an interesting deal. It's a good-looking car. Very good-looking car. I like it. 47 miles of range in 10 minutes of fast charging. Definitely, I like it. Potential government incentive. Potential benefits of electric vehicle ownership over 5 years. $390. I said that incorrectly. Potential maintenance savings and potential fuel savings here. This is wild. It depends on how much you drive, obviously, but savings on fuel is certainly something that I am interested in. So this is a big old web page here from Ford.com. So it's very cool. If you look at the hyperlink up here, you can go ahead and type that in if you want to, but very detailed. So what does Tesla do as a result here? Honestly, down 0.6, nothing major. I don't think this necessarily impacted it. Again, this stock is on a absolute tear in the past month, up 38%. Still, though, if we're looking a year, this thing is just a dog, where everything else has moved 30+%, up. The whole market's moving upwards of 20%, and we get this guy, which is sitting here at, that's right, 0.9% down. So overall, been kind of a dog over 5 years to see only a 44% growth around there. It's not necessarily exciting, but again, I think there's people have reasons for it, and I think they're going to be planning on what the future has for it. But we'll see. We'll see what the future has for Tesla. My main thing was competition is going to be a factor now. So obviously, this is a direct competition to the Model Y here, which is a lot more bubbly of a looking car. So we'll go through and look at this Model Y real quick, see what it has to offer. 66 cubic feet of cargo space, 300-mile range, all-wheel drive. I'm struggling. It's designed for safety. That's right. Room for 7. Versatile seating. The Tesla website didn't want to work for me there. 2 independent motors. 3.5. 0 to 60 time. Capable in rain, snow, mud, and off-road. Superior traction control. Nothing but green here again. Thanks, Tesla. You're being rude to me. 15-minute recharge. Recharge 168 miles in 15 minutes. Fast charging. Or a supercharger, they say. 14,000 plus superchargers are in existence right now. This is the future of driving. Obviously, it's got 360 rear, side, and forward-facing cameras for maximum visibility, and it's all about visibility. I'm huge on that. 12 ultrasonic sensors. It is the future of driving. Again, we got this big dash, 15-inch display. It's a 15-inch display. That is a massive display. So the performance model, you get 280 miles out of it. A nice 3.50 to 60. Dual motor, all-wheel drive. 20-inch wheels, which, big wheels, baby. But the long-range all-wheel drive, obviously, a 5-second 0 to 60, 280-mile range, up to 6, and then 18 or 19-inch wheels here. Top speed 135. The performance here goes 150 max. Then you get the long-range rear-wheel drive, which is 5.5, 0 to 60, and a 300-mile range. And that's right, 130 top speed. So definitely interesting. I don't think I'll be ordering one. It's such a traditional looking car, which I think the Ford really is just a normal looking car. There's something about the open aspect, and I've talked about this with NIO and their Eve project. I like the open concept of the roof and just just what you can get from that. I mean, I personally like it a lot, and I think it would have been a little bit better to, oh, whoa, see what we have rocking here. But again, this is a decent looking vehicle, and all things considered. And there's a lot of visibility here in terms of this front windshield. And obviously they have around the top. There's plenty of visibility in this car for sure. And obviously all these cameras all around. There's plenty of visibility, and it's an interesting competitor to the Model Y that Ford put out. And we'll see how things go. I need to quit clicking in and out of these sites because they're very mad at me. But there you go. Ford introduced their new electric vehicle. It'll be interesting to see how that performs and what people are ordering like. I don't know when or if we'll get those kind of numbers. I sure hope we do because it'll be interesting to look at, but we will have to wait and see.